All right, hi, welcome to Want Beef. I'm Neil Rubenstein. Uh, Guest hosting today, Sam Hoyos.
Hey, what's going on, Neil? It's amazing to see you in the animated flesh. It's been a minute.
Yeah, Sam plays in a band called Playing Dead from Long Island. Plus Red River podcast. Also, do you still do If I Ruled
If
the World?
Nah, like George, when he moved to Vegas, like he was supposed to kind of just do his thing with it. And he is living his adult life. I feel like he's just making some jewelry and kind of like didn't want to do the podcast anymore.
Ah,
We had a great run.
yeah, I was out there during pandemic.
Yeah, you probably did the last one that he recorded.
Yeah, I usually
Yeah.
destroy things. I leave a
you
wake.
you killed it. Yeah. What a way to go out there.
I leave a wake of destruction, man. I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
I have a black cloud for sure. Today's episode. I usually do like a thing. At the end, we might have to do a beginning,
Sure.
unless I. All right, we'll do it now. This is okay. Here's the theme song. Hey, welcome back to Want Beef. Neil Rubenstein, Sam Hoyos from the band Playing Dead and Red River Podcast. I feel like every time I see your band, you've added a member.
Yeah, well, we're basically trying to eventually cover a Wu-Tang song, so that's the goal.
Not Arcade Fire. That's not the.
I would love, I fuck with Arcade Fire. I mean, like the first 3 records are great, but yeah, no, we would want to do like something off of 36 Chambers before we do something Canadian like that.
Okay, all right, sounds good. And today's topic, we're going to talk about Colombian food. Are you Colombiano?
Yeah, for sure, definitely. So I grew up for me, like I just grew up with that food. I never really considered it Colombian food till like later on when you get older. You go to these restaurants. To me, it was just the stuff that my grandmother would make. So yeah, I mean, I love it now. And the person I'm with, I wish Karen liked it more, which I don't think she does. So
Did you call her your abuela?
I called her Luisa. Yeah, I don't.
You just called her by her first name?
Yeah, Chris Rock had a funny thing where he said if you call your grandma Ma and your mother Pam, you're going to jail, and that was the case for me. So he was right on I definitely went to jail a few times, and that was my thing. But I would call her Mom. She was like Ma. Like, so like to me, my grandmother was my mom. Like my parents were super young, so they I think my dad was 23, my mom was 21. So when that happens, it's like, yo, hang out with your grandparents. We're gonna go continue to be young kids.
Is that tough? I feel like, because I had like super old parents, and I feel like my issues were, from having super old parents. Because like,
what kind of issues though?
Like to me, it felt like my parents wanted to be grandparents at that point.
Oh yeah, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they would like treat me like really awesome for like 2 hours on a weekend.
Yes.
And then just ignore me the whole rest of the time.
Yeah. Yeah, no, to me, I didn't care. I loved like growing up in like Queens. And I didn't, some people want their parents' approval. Like I never wanted it. Like it's not that I didn't care for it. It's just I never wanted their attention or love. To me, it was just like if it came, cool. If not, whatever. Then they got separated, and to me, like I was like, cool. I'm like, they're not going to fight anymore, so that didn't bother me either. But yeah, it was like whatever. Like I grew up with two grandmothers and a great grandmother, and my parents kind of like did their own thing till like, later on, but they were always there. It wasn't like I grew up with both of them. It's just I don't know. I didn't really mind. They were young, and it's fine now. They seem to be way more level-headed these days, not together. So
Did or both your parents Colombian? Are you 100% Colombian?
no, so my dad's Colombian and my mom's Dominican, which is like in regular terms, just those two things don't really mix. So like my grandmother, like it was just like an ongoing joke. Like it's just like two cultures that don't really mesh well theoretically. So there was a lot of jokes.
But I mean, the cuisines are like kind of similar.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Who's got mofongo? Is that Dominican?
So the thing about the Dominican culture for me is my grandmother on my mom's, so my mom's mom was adopted. So when she came over in the 60s, like we really had no connection to that world. So the Dominican side was kind of so like I don't really know much of it. She was adopted, and like I don't really know much of it, but my dad's side was so strong and entrenched in Queens, and that Colombian culture was super dominant. Like when I would go there, like when I lived on Long Island, we were just fucking, eating, we were like just normal kids from Selden. But like my dad's side was super, like that was the Colombian side. My mom's side, like that wasn't, they were like, oh yeah, we're Dominican. It was just so identity less, like it wasn't really anything that we ever thought of. And I think it had to do with just my grandmother coming over and being adopted and just kind of like losing that identity.
I feel like there's a lot of Colombian restaurants in like the Hicksville area.
Yeah. So there's a place called Punto Rojo. It might be Punto Rojo too. That place is fucking awesome. So for me, that place has the best of both worlds because it has a bakery. So the bakery is ridiculous. Like you get like this cheesy bread. There's a lot of really good stuff you get from a Colombian bakery, but it also has like the restaurant portion of it. And yeah, that place is super banging.
Which one is that? Is that the one on Old Country Road by
Yep.
by Union Boulevard or Turnpike, whatever that is?
It's like Old Country. It's like right like south of like the LIE on like 106 or 107. Like right on the corner.
Oh, that one. Yeah. By like where Pearl Art used to be, or Chroma Paint, where Chroma Paint used to be.
Maybe. Yeah. It's like right on the corner.
Yeah, there's a T-Bell right there. There's like an Indian restaurant right there.
A lot of Indian food there too, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but I went there actually like right before we all moved. Do you remember the band Gabriel the Marine?
Yes, I do. I don't know why. I know the name. Yeah.
So a couple of guys, Mike Desmond and Mark Herberger. I'm friendly with those guys still. We all moved
like right around the same kid. Time.
Yeah,
the local nomad kid.
Yeah, local nomad. Right.
Yeah.
So we all moved like around the same time, and we met up at that place, at that Colombian restaurant, to like just like say goodbye, kind of. And
that's fun. Yo, I was at a wedding with him, and he brought up your name. I was like, yo, I totally know Neil. And I guess like you befriended him when he was like a younger, like, right? They were like a younger band, right?
Yeah, they were like 17 when I started working with that band.
Yeah.
They're killer. That band's killer. I miss that band. That band was a good band.
Yeah.
So what's a traditional, like for you, like because I know like people, I feel like most people be like Colombian food, that's like, and just Mexican and Spanish food. Like there is a lot of like similarities. Like I know like arroz con pollo and empanadas, but like is empanadas a traditionally Colombian thing, or is that Venezuelan? Or
so for me, like my grandmother would be in
tostones.
the kitchen. So tostones, like I don't know much about mofongo, which I think is a Dominican
I think
thing.
it's Dominican.
But tostona is like for sure. And my grandmother and her sisters all were very good at making like the corn-based empanadas. So like when I was younger, like they would make, like she had a sister that would just like make like she would make like 100 of them, and like just like, you know, they all lived in Queens, and it's like you would go there, like they all lived in like this like section in Flushing, and like you can go from one, you know, apartment to the other, and one in particular would make like the best empanadas, and they were like not too big, and they were the corn based. So yeah, like to me, like the corn based stuff is super Colombian. Then the other stuff is like pasteles, which is more of like I think that's like more Puerto Rican, Argentinian type thing.
What about arepas? Is that
Oh
traditionally
yeah,
Colombian?
yeah, that's like for sure. So arepas with the cheese in the middle,
Yeah.
like that was a super big deal, man. Like for like those very, very good stuff. Yeah.
I feel like there was arepas had a moment in New York City where it was like it started to be like the way they were treating grilled cheeses for a while, where like you could go get like there would be like a grilled cheese truck, and you get a grilled cheese with like barbecue pork and brie cheese, and then you get like and like I feel like arepas had a moment too where like
Yeah.
maybe 10 or so years ago, where you go and there'd be like an arepas place on 7th Street, and you could get you know, the traditional arepa, but then you could also get like, you know, I'm making this up, but it would be like, you know, goat cheese and Captain Crunch and
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
other, you know what I mean?
But so the thing is like it's so universal. Like if anyone really wants to try it, because it has cheese and there's like this mixture of like corn, whatever the fuck. I don't even really know what the fuck it is. I just know.
It's kind of a corn cake.
Yes, it's a corn
Like
cake. Yeah.
what do they call them? Not flapjacks. What's the like there's a southern, like they make corn meal pancakes in the South and they call them something.
It's not like hush puppies.
No, not hush puppies. Come on, man. I can't think of it. Maybe I could Google it while we're talking.
Yes, but yeah, for sure. Big deal. The thing about Colombian food is like I feel like it's so niche too. Like Mexican food had like a Trojan horse, and I think that Trojan horse was Taco Bell. You know, because growing up, like
snuck it in,
huh?
Like they like Taco Bell snuck it in.
Yeah, because they Americanized, like before anything, like living out here. I didn't have a burrito till like I was almost like 20, but like growing up, always skateboarding out here, we had Taco Bell. So that's what I knew as Mexican food. It wasn't until like later on going into the city that you would be like, oh, okay, what's Burritoville? You know? So I think once it got into a chain, there's not like a Colombian, you know, fast food chain. So like I think Taco Bell really kind of like put Mexican food on the map, because it's like you try this Taco Bell and you're like, oh, this is cool, but it's kind of like a fast food. So from there you branch out and you look for like the real version of it, you know.
Yeah. I also think there's just like, there's just like an ingrained racism where like it's all Mexican food. You know what I mean? Like if you ask the average American, like, hey, have you ever had an empanada? And they're like, oh yeah, it's Mexican food. Have you ever had an arroz con pollo? Yeah, it's Mexican food. Have you ever had mole? It's Mexican food. And it's like, dude, it's not, none of that. You know, like,
yeah, I could see that for sure. But I think like, you know, now with the internet, people could just Google and now,
who does,
like,
though?
I don't know, some people and
people are so dumb, dude.
But the one thing most people don't want to be called is racist, so they're on that phone going like, yes, I know it's Colombian, come on, you know. Yeah. So they don't want to get canceled on Twitter.
But it's not, it's like you know, it's like systemic racism. It's not like it's not like it's not like
mean racist.
Yeah, it's not like ignorant. It's not arrogant. It's ignorant. It's ignorant.
Yeah.
They just don't know. Like we just don't know. Like it, like, you know, certain I hate to be like certain
Like,
words, but
I don't know what Dominican food is.
okay. I
Yeah,
think it's mofongo. I think mofongo is like the staple.
that sounds right. I
And
guess. Yeah.
tostones, I think, is a staple.
Tostones are a big deal. So my mom would make them. There's two kinds. There's the maduros, which is like the
Sweet.
soft. I never liked those.
What?
Never liked them. I would always go
the
with
sweet ones are
green.
so good.
Really? I'll tell you a story though. I had them recently.
On Chinese buffets, they have a lot. They have
really?
the sweet plantains. Yeah.
Yo, shout out to the Chinese buffets, man.
Always
Very
represent.
underrated. Yeah.
All right. Sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
But so recently I ordered them because I thought they were coming as tostones, but they came as like the fried bananas with the cheese. And I was like, you know what? I'm like, fuck it. I already paid for this expensive, like it's pretty pricey place. And I tried it and I ate it, and the cheese, like, yeah, it was mind melting. And it was the first time I think in like my whole life that I had the banana ones, like the soft ones, because to me, like tostones, like easy, man. You get them, you fry them up, you squish them, you throw salt. Like they got to be like fresh out the pan, and like that's like real deal.
Yeah, tostones to me, like a tostones, it's like two. That and like is yucca a big thing?
Oh, yuca.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't like either of those things. I don't like the starchy plantain, and I don't like yucca. I just
yucca. I like it.
It's yucca. It's yucca to me, man. I don't know. Yucca? Is that how you pronounce it?
It's yucca. Yeah.
Yeah, I always feel like they're trying to like trick me. They're like, hey, look, it's French fries, and then I'm like, these aren't fucking French fries, bro.
So the place shout out to Jamie Yukas, though. She's pretty hot. She's on the news. But the place that I went to that I just told you about with the Maduro, they give you, so when you get your burrito, they give you a side of fried yuca. And I'm like, God damn, I'm like, I don't really like this shit, but I fucking tried it. And I'm like, you know what? It tasted good. It legitimately tasted like a fucking French fry.
I mean, I'm sure I'm sure done awesomely.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just never got into it. And that's another one of those things where it's like, it's so many cuisines use it, but it's all those cuisines. It's all Venezuelan, Ecuadorian, Colombian, Dominican, Puerto Rican, like it's all those things. We'll have like yucca, we'll have tostones, and it's just like, I don't know, man. I'm just not.
I angrily ate it. It was there, and I was just like, you know what? I'm like, that's fine. It was there. And like the thing about being fat with a plate of food is it eventually when I eat everything that I like, I'm going to start looking at the shit that I kind of don't like, but it's on my plate. And like my girlfriend eats mad slow. So I'm just like, all right, I guess I'll just
play, baby.
Yeah, that's it for sure. One day we went to a place. So one of my favorite places, my favorite Colombian restaurant of all time is a place called Pollo Rico, which is in Centereach, I guess Centereach area. Amazing. The absolute, nothing ever tops that. But then there's another place in Patchogue called Mi Tierrita. So me and my girlfriend went there, and so I'm not like, I don't try a bunch of shit. I'm like, listen, I'm like, get the breaded pork, get the rice, get this, just
or like the thinly pounded out chicken is good.
Yeah, no, that too. Yeah, for sure. So I'm like, get something that you're gonna like. I'm like, trust me, you don't want to like you don't want to veer off the menu, because even I don't.
Because like they're another one of those cultures that like you'll end up with like a tail or like a bone sticking out or something.
That's where I'm going. That's exactly where I'm going. So she's like, I want chicken soup. I was like,
oh no, you don't want chicken soup. The actual chicken's in the soup. It's like tapping on the inside, like, let me out. Let me out.
To this day, if you ever bring it up to her, I'm sitting there eating my breaded pork and like it's fucking delicious. And she gets a plate and like the chicken foot's hanging out the plate, and she's like, I'm not
Oh.
eating that. I was like, I told you to just get normal fucking you want chicken soup? Like, what are you, sick?
Yeah. That's like, yeah. So like Christian will take me, I'm sure I've talked about this on the pod. Christian will take me to Flushing for like
Yes, I
Chinese
know.
food or
Yep,
something.
yep. That's the real
Yo,
deal. Yeah.
it's just like, it's a bowl. It'll be
Yep.
like diced chicken,
Yep.
but it'll be diced chicken that had the bone in it. And it's like, how the fuck, like, how are you, like, how do we eat this?
Yes. Yeah. I remember when I first I was working in Flushing for a minute, and I would go there, and I was like, okay, fine. If I'm gonna be here, I got to figure out the good like Chinese food spots. And I was like, yo, let me get some lo mein. And they looked at me, they were like, what? I'm like, the noodles. I'm like, yo, what about General Tso? And they're like, what?
No,
They're like, yo,
General Steve? No.
yeah. Yeah, it was like I was not a fan. I was not a fan. I was like, oh.
Dude, I make that mistake all the time. Whenever I'm with those cats, they're like, it'll be like Christian Todd and like some kid I never seen or whatever. And we'll go to like, we'll go to some place in Flushing that like looks like 9 other places. It shares the same address as 9 other places. Probably shares the kitchen.
Yeah, yo, straight up.
And they like get mad.
Same waiter. Same waiter.
Yeah, it's brutal, man. I don't. Yeah. So that's disgusting and horrible. Yeah. I forget where we were going with this.
we were going all over the place.
Colombians do that too. Like they just like throw the whole animal in a pot. And
yeah,
like,
because
like,
there's certain things growing up that I just wouldn't eat. Like my grandmother would be like, "Oh, do you want morcilla?" And I'm like, "Morcilla." And like one day I try, it's blood sausage. I'm like, I'm like, I don't like this. I'm like, I want a regular sausage. I don't want fucking blood like that. Yeah, so there's like entraña, I think that's what it is, like liver. I'm like, nah. I'm like, breaded chicken, breaded pork, rice, tostones, maybe avocado. Like I said, you know what I mean? Like that's where I go. Empanadas, like bakery, all that other stuff is just like, I'm like, nah, I'll pass.
Did you tamales isn't right? Tamales is Mexican.
So I believe I feel like they would make tamales, and I just never liked it because to me, like I didn't like like I guess they would kind of like put it in that like wrapping.
Yeah, that banana leaf.
I didn't try them till like later on in life, like I probably like in the last 5 years, and it's not bad. I just I didn't really I didn't, certain things just didn't appeal to me. Like I actually went to Colombia. I went to Colombia once, and I was probably like, God, I must have been like 10, maybe between 8 and 10. And I remember going, so it was me and my grandmother, and we went for like a month. And I just remember going and looking for food that I liked, which was pizza and McDonald's. But the pizza and the McDonald's over there fucking sucked. Like it was just different, you know. Like
well, pizza, I can't imagine.
I wasn't ready for like I didn't have the palate yet. Like now, if I go, I'd figure out what to do. But back then, I was just like some kid from fucking Queens and like Long Island, where I was just like, I'm like, this McDonald's kind of sucks, you know. But it just I wasn't ready for like that world. But now if I go, I think I would know what to order.
I don't know, man, because I'm gonna go back to the Chinese food. Like I went to Hong Kong, like as an adult,
when
developed 10 years ago.
This? Oh, that's awesome.
Like with a developed palate, and I still was like, nah.
You're like, nah, I don't think so.
I was like, I know how this goes. I was like, I just show me your America. Where's your mall?
Yeah.
I'll go eat there. Like,
yeah.
Like you guys got spaghetti bolognese? I'll have that. Yeah. I'll have a bowl of that.
Yeah, because to me, like the way I, like some people are adventurous. Some people will eat whatever. to me, as long as I have option A and B, I'm never gonna go for C and D. Like if I'm on an island and I have A and B at all times until A and B run out of the planet, I'm always just gonna be like, I'll just take chicken. Like, that's it. Like I don't. That's it. That's all.
Look, I can go either way. I can do adventurous. I venture out quite a bit. I'll try whatever generally. I don't want it to like look at me. I certainly don't want it to try and communicate with me. And I need to know that it's safe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm not eating like a raw anything. And I'm not eating bone or stomach lining. I'm just not doing it. It's not going to happen.
What's the most like kind of disgusting thing you think you've eaten?
Disgusting?
Yeah, something like that you like didn't know was so bad, but when you tried it, you're like, yeah, I don't want this.
Well, not quite like. I remember eating eel, like sushi.
Okay.
And enjoying it, and then later being kind of like creeped out that it was eel.
Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah.
But
yeah,
that's
eel,
it. Like I've had like yak and alligator and all that stuff, and
oh yeah,
I just for some reason the eel weirds me out.
Was it fried alligator?
I've had fried alligator. I've had fried rattlesnake. I had yak sliders, kangaroo meatloaf, had all sorts of weird stuff. Because I worked at a place where we would do this thing. Do you know WBAB every year does Wild Game Night? Roger and JP do Wild Game Night.
No,
so it's like
I know BAB, but I don't know that thing.
Yeah, so every January they would do this thing called Wild Game Night, where they would do they sell $150 tickets. You go watch a football, like the wild card game. So it would be like next week or this Sunday it would be, and they would have like all sorts of crazy wild game on the menu: wild boar, kangaroo, elk, venison, yak, all sorts of like fucking craziness. And so I've had all that stuff, and it was all fine. I wasn't like grossed out by any of it.
I don't even know what yak is.
It's just another. It's like bison or one of those things.
Oh, okay.
It's
like yucca.
No, yeah, it's like but if it came looking like a yak, I wouldn't be able to like peel.
No, yeah. You're
skin
right.
off of it, and that's the thing. Like chicken, I feel like I can eat like chicken tenders or whatever the fuck, but like I don't want it.
Yeah.
I don't want it looking like I don't know. I don't want it like looking at me. I don't want the paw.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't want the fucking foot sticking out of the soup.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, like you get that a lot there. I don't know. Like there'll be like a tail of something. You'll see all the bones in the tail. You're like,
growing up, I would see people like older generations, like when you give them like a chicken, anything with a bone, like I'll take like 3 bites, like anyone like 60 and above at Thanksgiving or anything that I go to, that they're like eating that same bone for like a dog almost.
Yeah, and they'll eat the innards.
Yeah,
like,
they're just like
the shit.
Sitting there talking to you, and they just like it's almost like they're eating out. It's like fellatio on this like chicken bone for like an hour. She's talking to me.
You see it like I feel like it's with wings.
Yeah,
like I get a wing, I eat the meat, and then the sinew stays on the fucking bone.
No,
and then you see some guy just like strips the bone, and you're like, you're a cretin. I'm not. Like I don't know if I can even trust you anymore.
I go 1 bite, 2 bite, and I'm like, okay, that's it. I don't know what else to do. Like I'm not gonna.
If it's a flat, I'll break it open and like eat the middle.
Yeah, man.
I'm not touching the ends.
Nah, it just that's outrageous. But some people really get up in there, and it's I just have vivid memories of like relatives, really just digging in on certain foods, and I'm just like,
And
I don't know.
just like the gelatinous
Yeah,
ness.
yeah. Like
Just
mentally, like for me, like if I needed to kill my food, I wouldn't be able to. I would probably be in salads and shit. So I like that my food comes murdered, but yeah, like I don't want to like a drumstick is far enough removed where I'm just like, all right, this little drumstick. I'm like, I'm not
yeah.
thinking anything of it. Every now and then, like,
And you
thanks to like
call it a
Morrissey.
drumstick.
Yeah, every now and then, thanks to like people like Morrissey, like I'll just eat something and I'll see like a vein. I'm just like, it's like I mentally have to like take it out of my head. And I'm like, like I could turn that channel off, where I'm just like, oh, I'm eating this fucking poor chicken's flesh.
But I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not. Yeah, like I say I'm vegan friendly. Like I'll eat vegan food. Like it's like I enjoy good food. So if it's done well, I don't care like what's in it. But like, there's just something about like oxtail
Yeah,
and
you got to get in there for the oxtail too. Yeah,
I'm not.
I look at oxtail. I'm like, where's the meat? It's just
Yeah,
like it's like
I
a
don't get it.
maze. Oxtail is like a maze that you have to like constantly shove your tongue into, and it's just like it's just this thing. I'm like, it's fucking gross. I'm like, there's nothing else you want. Like, they were out of hamburgers,
Yeah, and like and then like tripe,
Oh no,
all that
yeah,
stuff
no,
real bums me out. But even like I remember when I was young, I would eat tongue, like the cold cut tongue,
wow,
thinking it was not really tongue, not
yeah.
realizing it was actually a tongue.
Yeah, what you think of it was if it wasn't tongue, like it's just like a
Just
nickname?
thought it was like a name. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I was like, well, I don't know what part of the animal is a baloney. To
yeah,
me, you know what I mean? What's
yeah,
a tongue? And
yeah.
then when I
It's like a hot dog. Like you don't like like when you spend enough time growing up in New York that you go to the city enough times when you hit the dirty water dogs. It was never like no one ever thought of it. In the 80s, you're like, oh, here goes a hot dog vendor. I'm gonna buy a hot dog. Now as time goes on, there's always that one guy. It's like, what's in there? It's fucking disgusting. And now, people just tell you all the time. Well, I'm like, I just want to eat this
I just
gross
want to eat
hot
this
dog.
hot dog.
I just
Like,
want to eat this gross hot dog and not think about it.
yeah. Which is weird because if the chicken soup was like grinded up in a blender and then put in a fucking tube of intestine, I'd be like, oh, this is pretty good. Like, I eat a chicken hot dog.
Yeah.
I just won't eat it separately swimming around in a bowl.
No, yeah, that's it. It's just like
I'll eat all
nicely,
the components if you grind it up in a hot dog. Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
nicely contained. Because you look at it, you bite into a hot dog, and it's just like it's still the same color. It doesn't. It's not like you see
Yeah.
like a fingernail and like a
But
plier.
sometimes, like I like sausage a lot. I eat a lot of sausage.
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
Sometimes you snap into a
yeah,
sausage and there's like a little bit of bone or a little bit of
yeah,
sinew, and you're like,
yeah.
and then you
Yeah,
remember it. Like
yeah,
it's like Total Recall. You're like,
yeah,
ah!
yeah. That's why you got to change the channel.
Yeah, you just fucking freaking
that's it.
out.
That's the beauty about being ignorant like me is like I could, it's like, oh, all right, whatever. I'll just think about something else, But like Colombian sausage is fucking fantastic. Colombian sausage is one of my favorites. It's really neck and neck with Argentinians make a really good sausage. There's a place called
Go ahead.
the
Sorry.
chimichurri. Yeah, there's a place in oh, my mom's calling me. There's a place, an Argentinian place in Queens called El Gauchito, and then they have like chimichurri. You put it on the sand. It's fucking killer. But the same thing with the Colombian sausage. Throw some lime on it. You got you get like an arepa with it. Killer. Big fan.
The sausage that they have at the churrascaria. I know it's Brazilian, not Argentinian, but
Okay.
I mean, I think it's similar. Having had both, sure. I love that's a good sausage, man. That is a bang up job.
Yeah, I've never done a churrascaria.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. I went to go to one, and I remember it was a Saturday. It was raining, and it was just too packed out, and we were like, all right, we'll go somewhere else. The one time, it was a place in CI.
There's a lot on Long Island now. There's a really good one. Josh Liptak took me to in right near Mystic Cheapos in like Williston Park or Roslyn or something.
Mm.
It's it's authentic, and like everyone in there is like clearly Brazilian,
Yeah.
like that's when you're like, oh, okay, this is
Yeah, which is funny because like Brazilian, like when you speak like Portuguese, right?
Yeah.
It's so similar to Spanish that it's like I want to like whenever I watch the UFC, like these guys talk, I'm like, I kind of get what you're saying, but it's so weird, It's like it's like I really want to stay in, and Spanish too, like same thing with Italian. I'm like, I totally kind of get what you're saying.
But I think I might be totally wrong, but in my experience, Brazilian Portuguese sounds almost Spanish, but Portugal Portuguese is like almost German sounding.
Interesting. Yeah.
Like their accent, like I remember being in like Lisbon and Porto, and like the accent was harsh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I was expecting like sexy Latin.
No.
And it was like
German,
and I'm like, what?
German harsh.
I'm like, yikes.
Yeah.
Well, you told me to fuck myself or that my room's ready. I can't tell.
Both. Your room's ready. Go fuck yourself.
Yo, we did it. You're a killer. This is great.
Cool.
Thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna go listen to Nems and then Jason Isbell right now.
Yeah, you got to be the only person on the planet that listens to both of those, like in a sitting. I can't.
Yeah, I can.
I can't imagine anyone else.
Yeah.
I really appreciate doing this. If you want to like text me like any kind of thing to plug, I'll get it. I'll get it plugged.
We put in the new song. The new single comes out Friday, so I'll send.
Okay, yeah. Awesome. So it'll be out. So this comes out probably in 2 weeks.
Yep, it'll
be
out.
The new
Friday.
single's out. What's it called?
It's called No Apologies.
Playing Dead, No Apologies. Killer Bands just opened for Taking Back Sunday. Matt Pryor, right?
Well, the Matt Pryor thing is it got
Postponed.
pushed to March 9th. And I think Dubin was trying to tack on a second show. So hopefully that comes true.
Okay, great. Yeah, so cool, man.
All right.
Yeah.